response video to conference report. Didn't really expect this to come from this, but whatever. I knew there was probably going to be some sort of argument made like this. And, I watched a minute and a half of it and I said, oh, fuck this shit. I'm not going to watch this horrible video twice. But again, here we go again. All right, so we're going to blow up some more words. The word normal doesn't mean anything anymore. We can't use the word fucking normal because nothing is allowed to be abnormal. I mean, this is just such bull fucking shit. But go ahead, make your idiotic, silly, contrived, nonsensical argument about how we have to change the vocabulary just to placate people's sensibilities because they don't like being called abnormal when they're fucking abnormal. I mean, if you're born with 3 fucking arms, it doesn't matter whether it's a common genetic function, doesn't matter whether it happens 1 in 1,000 times. The fact is, it's fucking normal.
Alright, this is the response to Gary Gloom Boom Doom, I think, probably on this one. Your response, Gary, to Zinnia Jones, ZGEMP TV's video, I'm Not a Symptom. Your response to that. I've only watched about
just even the title, to even argue that you're not a symptom is completely idiotic. Everything about us is a fucking symptom. You are a symptom of your British fucking culture. That's why you say twat instead of twat. Okay? I mean, let's not argue this shit. Okay? This is a nonsensical title. I am not a symptom. No, we are all fucking symptoms. We are a symptom of the corporate culture. We are a symptom of what's been on television. We are a symptom of the fucking food we eat. We are a symptom of every fucking thing that happens in this fucking universe. So this is a fucking bogus premise that no, I am not a symptom. Yes, we are all fucking symptoms. Oh, alright, enough yelling. I won't yell anymore. I might promise.
half of it, Gary. My computer crashed at that point. But quite frankly, I've had enough of it. I will watch the rest of it.
Yeah, whatever. That's just sort of a bogus, bullshitty thing to say. Too bad your computer fucking crashed. But you know what? If you're not going to watch the whole video before responding to it, you're a fucking twat. Okay? A twit, a twat, a tweet, a twunk, a trunk, a trink, a trunk. You're all of them. Every fucking T word there is, that's what you fucking are if you're not going to watch a whole fucking video and then make a response to it. Bull fucking shit to that. Oh, I'm yelling.
And maybe finish after my response. But I just think it's a horrible video you've made, Gary. Absolutely horrible. For all kinds of reasons. I mean, I know your heart's in the right place.
Oh, fuck that patronizing fucking goddamn shit, okay? No, you can say my heart's in the wrong place because I have a passion for this fucking language thing lately. And this is just bullshit. The whole argument is bullshit. Abnormality is not a symptom in morality. I didn't say it. Did I make a moral statement in my fucking video? No, I made exactly the opposite moral statement. My moral statement was it doesn't matter what the fuck people are. They should love themselves. I said all of that fucking crap, you dumb twat. Alright, so this is all bullshit. I didn't make a moral statement. I made a statement about fucking words actually meaning something in our fucking vocabulary. You stupid fucking twat.
I know you're a good guy, but you come up like a twat in this video.
Yeah, well, same to you, fuckhead. Yeah, well, if you're not gonna make a good job of it, then don't fucking goddamn do it, alright? You don't call somebody a fucking twat unless you goddamn fucking mean it.
Okay, to continue, lots of stuff there about normal and abnormal, lots of stuff about difference, lots of stuff about pathologizing, and in no particular order, here we go. Okay, you're talking about some kind of speculations about the genetic origins of homosexuality. You know, how on earth could homosexuals possibly emerge in a Darwinian evolutionary environment when they obviously have no reproductive advantage? And you speculate, which is this idea of gays as kind of super bisexuals. You know, these people, some people have got so overflowing with sexual energy that women aren't enough for them. They've got to make fuck out of the both.
Yeah, I didn't make that argument, asshole. I didn't say women aren't enough for them. I said that it might be a phenomenon related to the fact of oversexuality, all right? And so that their orientation might be more mutable because of that excessive drive. And so at an earlier age, they might not, their sexuality might maturate too early, then it becomes more about the act itself instead of the person they're having sex with. It could be a lot of different phenomenon related to that. And I guess I could, if I have to make a whole fucking theory and have to write a whole fucking paper to do a little speculating, I could give you the examples of dolphins or porpoises and the example of maybe bonobos and point out how they have a more aggressive sexuality that leads to orgies and other kinds of events that take place that are not heterosexual. All right, and that might be the origin of the behavior, that it is related to this hypersexuality. So fuck you, it's not an insane theory, it's not bullshit, and your counter theory is absolutely fucking nothing. So fuck you.
Oh, yeah, the fucking trees and the fucking mud and you name it. It's bullshit. I call it bullshit on that bogus fucking Procrustean just so story. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, so sorry, mate. So yeah, if somebody says, oh, look, there's people in our society that have a sexual attraction to prepubescent children. All right, now let's not even think about how they became that way. Let's just say nature does it, and that's the way it is, and it's perfectly consistent with evolution, and it's perfectly functional and productive. If a guy has an affection for sheep, let's not analyze it, let's not even think about it, let's not even deal with it as anything, let's just pretend it's some sort of natural function. I mean, it's just such bullshit.
That's just not going to wash it, is it? No, it's just bullshit. And then all this stuff about wheels in the right place,
It's called an analogy, for fuck's sake, right? And you're the asshole talking about, let's cuberize the complexity of our brains and imagine the universe as a bunch of cubes of complexity and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and so I can't make an analogy to the fact that when something comes out of the plant and it's not the same as all the other shit that comes out of the plant, that somebody might ask the question, how the fuck did that happen? Oh, yeah, my fucking God, that's so fucking outrageous. That would never happen. Nobody would be surprised by something that's unusual. No, unusual is perfectly goddamn usual. Everybody should be perfectly used to the unusuality because the unusuality is so usual. I mean, fuck this bullshit.
Yeah, so this genetic evolutionary argument for what you refer to as the abnormality of homosexuality. But there are some speculative evolutionary accounts which make kind of sense of it. The one that you suggested is nowhere in the running.
And the one you're suggesting is so much better is not articulated. So fuck you.
And quite frankly, it doesn't matter. I thought we thrashed this one out fucking ages ago. Nature, Mr. Allnut, is what we are putting this earth to rise above. We're not tied to history. What the fuck are we doing looking for evolutionary origins? We don't...
I'm not doing that. I'm just pointing out a simple fact that the word normal has a meaning, all right, and that people can't just blow it up. The word symptom has a meaning, all right, that these are truths of our reality, all right, and you can't fucking decide, well, just because I don't like falling into certain categories, I'm going to eliminate the ability to make the category. I mean, what the fuck is that bullshit?
Look there for morality. Do we? I mean, do we quote Franz de Waal?
And again, where in my video did I make a moral statement saying homosexuality was wrong? Where? Quote me. Would you please just fucking quote me before you're going to assume I had there was any statement in the video anywhere saying there is any wrongness in homosexuality. I say everybody, yes, I would be, it would be consistent with my philosophy to say I would rather the whole fucking world be homosexual and nobody ever have a kid again. So to me, this would be a utopia.
To be serious, mentions Franz de Waal, and now the empathy and altruism exist in the natural animal kingdom, and they presumably also exist in evolutionary history of hominids. Do we say, yeah, that's a good reason to have morals? No, we don't, because it's bullshit. It's true. But it's irrelevant because...
It's not true, and it's to completely taken out of context. Her theory is complete bullshit, okay? Because she has added on to it. I haven't added on to it. I didn't make any moral statement. I didn't use nature as an excuse to say homosexuality should be corrected. I didn't make any such fucking argument, so this is all a bunch of hysterical, goddamn whatever this is, this knee-jerky reaction that any kind of goddamn real critique has to be called an attack.
We are the signifying monkeys who can make our own choices. We are free, at least in theory.
No, we're not free, and that's the whole fucking point again of this word symptom, of this word normal. This is not, we are not free. All right, we are a product of our environment, and there's nothing wrong with asking, well, look, if our culture is creating men who want to be women, that maybe there's something going wrong, because it'd be a lot more efficient and simpler if men were men and women were women, wouldn't it? Wouldn't life be a lot simpler? All right, yeah, it would be. But I'm not making a moral statement. I'm not saying it shouldn't be the way it is. I'm not saying people shouldn't do whatever the fuck they want. I don't give a goddamn fuck. I have no horse in this race except that I like words to mean something, and these words will mean nothing if we allow people to cheat them this way.
From those fucking bogus ideas. And the same thing applies here. You know, you can't apply to one, not the other guy, can you? Let's face it. Anyway, yeah, and then you give these accounts of this, trying to justify this abnormality thing. You know, you keep swinging between calling things like abnormality and deviance, and then pretending it's like, I don't mean anything bad by it, but you do. You know, you really do. You know, if I...
No, I don't. So again, that's your interpretation. I made the effort to say, look, we would do the same thing. People blame Einstein's intelligence on the fact that he had some sort of tumor or something. So yeah, people are going to instinctively look for why is somebody different? Why is somebody, you know, superior or the best athlete or the best this? They're always going to ask the question, why? I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking the question, why, when somebody's the exceptional on either side of the fucking goddamn normal scale.
Wheel car, I mean, the reason why a five-wheel car is fucking weird is it doesn't work right, you know, it's clearly a fuck up. And then
well, who says it's clearly a fuck up? Maybe it works even better, okay? So I didn't make, again, I wasn't making a moral statement that all abnormality is bad. And if you watch the whole video, again, I say at the end that I am abnormal. And I am not, I don't feel bad about that.
Pretty much the language you use. If you see dogs humping, you think, oh, that's a bit fucked up. Well, you would, and you'd be a twat and an idiot for thinking it, because it wouldn't be fucked up.
Well, I'm sorry, all right? Really, it'd be a little bit humiliating to have a dog that's, you know, humping male dogs. It's just a little bit like, oh, fuck, you know, that's a little fucked up, fella. Come on, you're wasting your time.
Percentage of dogs are, you wouldn't call them gay, but have homosexual relationships with their dogs. A certain percentage do that. A certain percentage of ducks, a certain percentage of rabbits. There's a normal distribution of gay practices in the animal kingdom. Different.
Well, you can say there's a normal distribution, but there isn't. There's more distribution in certain populations than in other populations, and it's not out of bounds to ask the question why and to analyze why the phenomenon takes place. What happens? What hormones change? Whether it is based on, is this a hormonal defect or change or abnormality, or is this the abnormality of maturation? Are there more homosexuals in zoo populations than in natural populations? These are all questions worth asking.
Different species. But that's a normal distribution of gay activity. It just is, you know. So whilst you, from your limited experience, or me from my limited experience, might look at a dog doing that and think, that's a bit weird. That's my stupidity and my ignorance, because I don't have access to the dog population. I don't have immediate access to statistics, and I can't see that what I'm actually looking at is part of a normal distribution of a certain kind of activity. And it's the same thing with gay practice.
Well, I'm just saying, isn't this strangling the language now, though? If we're going to start talking about the normal distribution of abnormality, I mean, you know, okay, yeah, let's just make words, let's just make them mean nothing. Fine, great, super, fantastic.
It's amongst humans, isn't it? You know, there's a certain percentage, between 10 and 12% of humans are gay, and that's a normal distribution.
It's a normal distribution in modern culture where it's been measured. Obviously, different cultures have much higher distributions. You go back to Rome. Rome, throughout its history, had a different distribution. So, yeah, and there's what is the crime of asking the question, why?
And when something falls outside that norm, we think it's something a bit weird. We assume there's sociological or political factors or something going on. You know, like a bit of Brighton in England, a bit of Brighton and walk up the seafront. There's a lot more gay men in Brighton. You think, well, that's a bit weird. And then you think, oh yeah, actually, they come on England holiday, it's great, it's a really friendly place, the bar's fantastic. Or,
Yeah, so that would be the whole point, that culture has an influence, that different factors have an influence on what the demographics are going to be. And again, what is the crime? And asking the question why, that's not a crime. In analyzing symptoms, it's not a crime. And causes and effect is just a basic, fundamental intellectual process. And it's not a crime against somebody's lifestyle decision to ask these questions. You can't do it. Being rude about it would be stupid, but it's not a thought crime to ask why.
or if you go to Iran and you find out that there are no homosexual men at all in Iran, apparently, you think, well, that's a bit weird. And it would be a bit weird because there was a normal distribution in the populations. So if you think that male dog humping is a bit fucked up, you're wrong. It just isn't. Unless, like, every male dog was doing it. Or no.
Well, look, there's a normal distribution of albinoism. Okay, there's a normal distribution. In different populations, there's more of that. Is there no reason to note the obvious distinction and difference, and to say it is a aberrant from the norm? That is not a crime to say that is an aberrant from the norm, and it is caused by a circumstance, and we maybe can detail the circumstance that causes that aberration from the norm. Now, we have not committed a crime against albinos by fucking doing that.
No male dogs would be. That would be fucked up. It would be fucked up statistically. Not an abnormal distribution. And of course, the second thing, just to return to this, is it wouldn't fucking matter anyway, even if dogs were fucked up, because we're not dogs. Nature, Mr. All Not, etc., etc.
And I don't need to be preached this crap, okay? I've only made 2,000 videos talking about that shit, so I really don't need to hear that fucking goddamn line, alright? Because it's a line I've probably preached. I probably said it in one of my fucking videos before you said it in one of your fucking videos. Alright, so it really doesn't mean shit to me. It's a bullshit fucking thing to throw in my fucking face. So fuck you for that, twat.
Alright, next point. Anxiety disorder, you mentioned at one point, everybody gets pathologized. Everybody says, oh, that's a year, it's a bit fucked up, isn't it? Yeah, everybody gets pathologized. Yeah, that's right. They do occasionally at times wonder what happened to make you the way you are, to make me the way I am. Why are you wearing glasses, Fred? Did you wank too much when you were a kid? Why are you wearing glasses? Did you not eat enough carrots as a child? Did your mother give birth in a brightly lit operating theatre? Yeah, of course.
Look, I'm not going to argue with you, but you're being, again, patronizing. I'm not going to detail my personal life experience, all right? But what I'm going to tell you is that you want to think you're discriminated against in this fucking culture for being a homosexual? Go try getting mental patient as a label and see how fun your fucking life is. Alright, so don't give me again. I don't need this fucking preaching. I don't need to be empathetic. Alright, I'm already empathetic enough.
Everybody gets pathologized, and it's stupid. And it's stupid because you're trying to... and asking those questions is stupid. I mean, this is the thing about asking questions. Asking questions is fine. There's nothing wrong with asking questions.
Well, you're not... No, you can't ride both of these fucking horses. This is just bullshit. You ride one or the other. Alright? Because asking questions is just fine. That's the whole overcoming nature thing. That's the whole being a fucking intelligent being. Is you ask the fucking question. The fact is whether you discriminate or mistreat people based on something, that's a whole different subject, isn't it? Yes, it is a different fucking subject.
Asking stupid questions is stupid. And the kind of questions you're talking about there, Gary, is stupid because you're asking statistical questions of individuals. You're asking questions about the normal distribution of a certain character trait.
No, I'm not doing any of that shit. All I'm saying is that the word symptom is okay and the word normal is okay. We can use these fucking words to describe things. And it's bullshit if people are going to take those words out of our fucking language and turn them into shit. That was the full content of the fucking video.
That has a normal distribution in the population, and you're asking for one individual for their narrative to explain that. and you don't get that information.
No, I'm not asking for any explanation. I'm just asking for the right to call it abnormal. That's all.
Just don't get it. It's like asking me, why have I got white skin? Well, I don't know. Perhaps mum made too much bleach on my face when I was a kid. It doesn't make any sense to ask that question. In fact, asking that question is something like the thing you're talking about, and later on you compare it with beaters grow up to be beaten, people who are knocked about when they're kids. That just really plays into that old story about where these things come from. Of abuse during childhood being linked to what kind of an orientation you have when you're older, and that is like 19th century.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would love to see where you're going to get that fucking from. Okay, you show me the statistics. Because I'll go by personal. I have to admit, I'll go by personal anecdote. And every single case of every single person I've known who has been in that circumstance has been completely fucked by the circumstance. And they are put in this really bizarre circumstance where now they have this disposition that's, going to cause them incredible grief in their life. All right, because now they are basically turned into the thing they didn't want to be. And we can go into all the psychology of women beaten by their fathers and their relationships. Fuck this bullshit. You're going to have to show me the documentation if you're going to say that is 19th century. Oh, that people aren't completely psychologically fucked by being fucked? Sorry, Fred, no sale.
Sorry, it just is. And you're also linking it to other kinds of deviancy, sexual deviancy. Even if you accept the idea of sexual deviancy, and many people wouldn't, but if you did, then...
So look, even the word deviancy isn't allowed anymore. So you can't even say something has deviated from norm. You can't say it's abnormal. You can't even say it's deviated from normal. You just can't even use a word like there's a fucking norm. Right? No, that's a hate crime. I've just committed a hate crime because I used the word norm. Oh my fucking goddamn God.
Comparing it to things like necking yourself with shower curtains, pedophilia, are we really saying that homosexuality is similar to pedophilia?
No, what we're saying is the source of it. The thing that makes the change, that creates the difference, that creates the distinction from norm, might have a similar mechanism, that they all might be related to the same kind of thing, okay? So sometimes sometimes you get skin cancer and it's easy to cure, and sometimes you get cancer of the liver and it's impossible to cure, okay? Yeah, so sometimes the deviance is incredibly harmful and destructive, and sometimes it's not. So, you can have the same basic sexual deviance, right? Where I like to fuck this lighters, okay? Especially pink ones. And I love it. I get off on it, all right? I buy porn of lighter porn, all right? It's completely harmless. It's a completely non-issue. And it could be exactly the same thing as having the deviant sexual preference for a minor child. The two could be identical in terms of their morphology, all right, of how those deviants were created. But one deviance is shockingly harsh and brutal as a social crime, and the other one is completely irrelevant as a social event. All right, but they could have the exact same morphology. Fucker.
Auto asphyxiation with shower curtains? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
Deviance.
start using this word abnormal. It's a bullshit word, because you're not talking about something abnormal, you're talking something that's a minority. And there's a big difference between abnormal and minority. Abnormals takes a set of behaviours, and sometimes for good and sometimes for bogus reasons, identifies this set of behaviours as normal. Yeah. And then things which lie outside that.
All right. So if we replace the word normative, okay, and all of its derivations, and replace it with minority, that somehow this conversation can take place, because minority is okay. So if I call homosexuality a minority aberration, no, that way I can't use aberration, a distinctively minority event, that's going to sound better? People are going to be more comfortable saying, I'm a minority? I don't think so.
Of course, abnormal. But something like homosexuality, first off, it isn't a deviancy. We should expect to see it in the population, and we should expect to see it, as I've said before, in a normal distribution.
Yeah, again, we're just back to playing with the word now, okay? We're gonna ignore that normal has to do with what the majority of things are, and we're gonna say, instead, we're gonna define normal as normal with all of the things that are abnormal. So we're just gonna take all the abnormal things and put them in the normal and just forget that we ever invented the word normal. I mean, it's just bullshit.
So, mixing up abnormality with minority is really toxic. So it just is. Yeah, I don't know much more I can say on this. Yeah, pathologizing. Terrible. Really bad. I mean, this thing about,
Well, whatever. Again, like I said, there's nothing wrong with pathologizing. There really isn't. There's something wrong with bigotry and hate and discrimination. Those are things you can argue against. The idea that people ask questions like why and might even want to know the answer to the question is not a crime. I'm not even curious. I'm just defending the language. I'm defending the word why, I'm defending the word symptom, and I'm defending the word normal.
what's quite frustrating about this video, Gary, is that it comes quite close on the heels of the discussion that you and I had, and other people, Piro and one or two other people, about value quite recently, about value and the role that value and being able to evaluate has played in the history of our species and the history of species of animals like ours. And that's really important. I thought we kind of got to there was understanding of value, that term, as a felt difference. It felt different.
Oh, so be more patronizing. Again, a video you didn't watch, you're responding to. So at the end of the video, I make the statement, the very clear statement, love yourself. Fantastic. Think you're even better than everybody else. Fantastic. I completely make the statement that they should feel no negative sense of self by giving themselves the completely appropriate label of abnormal. It is not a fucking goddamn negative aspect. It's a positive aspect. I want to have an abnormal IQ. I want to be abnormally empathetic. I want to make abnormally superior videos. I mean, I'm perfectly comfortable with that word, and I'm just saying I like the word.
A tiny little squirmy animal. It's got hardly anything at all. It's just got little sensors on its head which can tell the difference between light and dark. But it has a felt response to that because it's in the light, it fries in the sun, that's painful. So this difference that it can distinguish between light and dark is given a value. It's not just difference, it's discrimination with value judgments attached to light and dark. So it seeks the shade because the shade is valuable. Yeah? And all discrimination is like that in sentient species. We are the sons and daughters and grandsons and granddaughters of those simple creatures who can do those things. And every moment of our sentience is built out of being able to make distinctions and be able to make, and the inevitable value judgments that fall either side of a distinction, because this is primary mathematics, but it also comes out of information theory and all those kind of things.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't find it at all helpful. Whatever. I'm not suggesting that anybody should be imposed upon or any unpleasantness be imposed upon them. I'm just saying that this idea that now, because they are in some sort of hurt position, that we're now just going to blow up the language so they can, play games with words to make themselves feel better about themselves, that's bullshit. Get used to the words. They're real words. They're good words. They don't have to hurt you.
There is no difference without difference in value. The differences are differences that make a difference. That's kind of how it works. So all these times that we're making distinctions between this and that, we're also making value differences between this and that. And that's something we have to be really, really careful about. And if we're doing that with people, if we're saying, oh, I see a difference. There's a guy there who's got long hair and who appears to be homosexual. That's a difference. And what are we going to do with that difference? we have to recognise that we're doing something with it, and I think one of the worst things you can do with that is pathologise that difference. You say that
Yeah,
difference
yeah.
is
Well, like I
sickness.
said, that's your opinion. I don't think it is the worst thing you could do. The worst thing you can do is be a bigot. The worst thing you can do is I hate anything that's different. I hate. That's the worst thing you can do. Like I said, asking the question why isn't the worst thing you can do.
That difference is a deviation from the norm. That difference is the result of a misfiring, and I'm borrowing that from Dawkins, by the way. It makes a very similar error in one of his earlier books, a misfiring. You know, it's as if evolution's got this target in mind, this teleological endpoint. You know, you can shoot towards it. Sometimes a gun goes off by accident. We all know that evolution isn't teleological; it doesn't have endpoints in mind. It just makes contingent. Anyway, that's a bit of a deviation itself. But you know what I mean? It's like if you're going to say, look, we are made out of values, our sentience, our feelings, our ability to make judgments. All this stuff is built out of the fabric of
No, what it's built out of is the ability to have a rational conversation. And if the word normal isn't going to mean what the word normal means, if you're going to just say, no, we're not going to use the word normal, then fine, take it out of the vocabulary. But don't leave it there and pervert its definition and pervert its meaning and force me to use this fucking bullshit word. Because it is a bull fucking shit word.
making discriminatory value judgments and seeing difference and feeling difference all around us, and this pattern of variation that allows us to choose good things over bad things. If we accept that, then to not apply it in a case as significant as this is just a huge oversight. Yeah, and saying, you know, well, that's a bit different, is interesting, but then we should immediately be catching ourselves and saying, is it different? Is it a difference that makes a difference? Is it a difference that sets it outside the norm, or is it part of a normal distribution? And most crucially, is it a difference that's based on pathology? So as soon as you're down the pathology route, then you are back into the throwing homosexuals into prisons and giving.
Yeah, I don't exactly see that connection at all. Okay, that is your canard. Okay, you're saying that if you ponder how many Jews, were money whores, that somehow you want to throw them in a concentration camp. I mean, the A does not lead to B. There's no reason to sit there and ask the question why and then presume that the end result or the whole reason why you're asking the question is so you can throw people in a fucking camp or in a prison or put them or burn them at the stake or some other kind of bullshit. All right? I committed no such crime in my video. I made it an explicit effort, okay, to make it clear that I intend no such offense. I intend to give no credence to no hater. I said in the fucking video you didn't fucking watch that show me the fucking bigot and I will hit them with the club as hard as any fucking body else. Okay, so point me in that direction and I will whap them. Alright, let's kill the fucking bigots. Fine, I'm good with that, asshole.
Electroshock treatment, like Alan Turing or whatever it's called. Yeah, very disappointing, Gary. I'm disappointed. You need to have more homosexual dreams and fantasies, perhaps. That'd be good. Actually, next videos, we should dress as girls. What do you think?
Yeah, well, whatever. You do it your way, I'll do it my way. I even explicitly said in the video, I'm not going to go through every fucking perverted thought I've ever had in my entire life. But yeah, sometimes my sexuality was a little bit fucking ambiguous. And that's sort of my point. And it wasn't ambiguous for no fucking reason. There was a reason it was ambiguous. And I don't see anything wrong with examining the reason why my sexual identity was ambiguous.
You do it first. You copied me in the last one. I promise I'll copy you. We're a long way. You have to do a really...
No, I don't do the drag thing, okay? I mean, I really don't.
girly video. And then go and like hump another bloke. I won't copy.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, if I'm a lesbian, I'm a dyke lesbian, okay? I really don't do the femmy thing.
But that'd make a funny video. Anyway, yeah. Apart from anything else, you're giving cover some real twats. I mean, look at the comment section. You've got some real arseholes following you around there saying, oh yeah, I agree with this guy. I agree with this guy. I wouldn't take it up the arse either. It's disgusting.
Yeah, well, look at your own comments section. I could say the same fucking thing. You got a bunch of the same typical old tree huggers. Let's fuck the language. Let's fuck everything. Let's just pretend that it's all some sort of sparkly fairy tale dust universe. Well, it's not, okay? There is a reality here. That there is a thing called dysfunction. Everybody can't be ADD, WDC, I mean, I can go on to this fucking thing forever, but I mean, everybody is just so fucking in love with being fucking eccentric. I mean, no, eccentric sucks. All right, it'd be really nice if we were consistent as human beings. We actually spoke the same fucking language and had some sort of common definition of what meant something. It really sucks that other people are eating things that I care about. That sucks. I hate living in this fucking world with all this fucking diversity like we're all supposed to fucking be in love with it. I hate diversity. I think diversity sucks. I'm not saying throw it in a concentration camp. I'm just expressing my opinion that diversity sucks. And it has nothing to do with this subject, though, because this video is about words, and I just want these words to mean fucking something. Exactly. So anyway, long video. Apologies. I should have never made the video. And like I said, the only reason why I made the video is because of this word thing. I'm just so fucking sick of this fucking bullshit language we're speaking. We need to have a fucking vocabulary where words actually mean fucking something. Fuckers.